knuckleheads, players and pimps, slayers and simps, hoes and freaks, nerds and geeks, strippers and tippers, thugs and gorillas, soldiers and kings, goddesses and queens, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, niggas and bitches, and you sophisticated motherfuckers alike. Welcome to Hip Hop's biggest fan. And today, hold on, let me get this shit right. Boy, I saw something early on Instagram, and to me, it just opened up a Pandoras box. With the arrest of Keefe D, I saw something that let me make sure I'm trying to get this shit right. Well enough. Okay. Whew. All right, where do I begin? I saw something on Instagram. The link to what I saw on Instagram is right down in the description right below here. It's connected to a page that's connected to a former outlaw that passed away 2 months after Tupac, Yaki Kadafi, Yaki fella, from my understanding, who was a family member of Tupac, besides being in the group The Outlaws, right? And it was a post about they're coming out with a book about his murder, like I said, which happened 2 months after Tupac, and he was the only one that kind of gave statements to the Las Vegas Police Department, in the what he saw, what happened with the shooting of Tupac and Suge in Las Vegas and all of that. And I've been following this for a long time. Like I said, I'm a big Tupac fan. I got books and shit. So I'm a big Tupac fan. I've been following this stuff, for 27 years pretty much. And it's alleged that they're alleging that Yaki Kadafi's murder was a setup and a cover up. Because Napoleon, also of the Outlaws, his cousin killed Yaki Kadafi, and what they're alleging is that Napoleon's cousin, who goes by the name of Rashad Clark, told Yaki that he was going to kill him a few weeks before he actually did kill him. Now, Rashad Clark ended up, I think he was only like 16, 17 at the time, and I think he tried to say it was a accident, so I think he pled out to maybe like a manslaughter, third degree kind of thing, but I think it was like a manslaughter thing. And I think he only served like 5 years, 3 years, something of that nature. And he's locked up now. He's doing 33 years on some other related charges that got to deal with drugs or something. But, they're alleging in this book that's coming out about Yaki Kadafi that it was a cover-up. Knowing Tupac's history with the Black Panthers and all of that, him shooting 2 off-duty cops in Atlanta and getting off on that. What took Las Vegas police so long to be able to finally arrest someone, besides the fact that Keefe D finally started telling on himself the past several years. They wasn't getting much cooperation from certain people. Suge said he would never cooperate. He said that still to this day. But it seemed like Yaki Kadafi was somewhat cooperating, giving statements to the Las Vegas police. And the day before he was supposed to see him again, he gets killed by Napoleon's cousin. Here comes the conspiracy theories. But, they're alleging that Napoleon's cousin told him weeks before he was going to kill him. They didn't say why or anything. They said he had an accomplice, and it was like a setup. But like I said, if you want to look into that post, I saw this today on Instagram. It's right in the description. It's the link to it for the Instagram page that has all of these things. And I just was like, oh shit, yo, this is bringing up, this is opening Pandora's box, like the rest of Keefe D, because there's so many moving parts to this. Like when they talk about the murder of Tupac, it's like everybody's pointing like this. Some people not saying shit, but Keefe D was claiming it was, Orlando Anderson. But now, people saying, no, it was Big Dre. And as I said, Yaki Kadafi, I've been following this shit 27 years. He did to make statements to the Las Vegas police right after it happened and said it was a big black arm out the window. I remember this from years ago. I'm going to just send y'all some other places if y'all seen this, but other people and interviews and platforms, I'm going to just give them they shout out because, this is where you get a lot of this information from people that were intricately involved in other ways. To me, this opened up Pandora's box for Puffy for sure. I'm going to get into that. Besides, Keefe D claiming he had $1 million hit. No, before that, what made Tupac actually jump on Orlando Anderson wasn't gang related, really. It had something to deal with a death row chain. And they said Puffy and Bad Boy had $10,000 bounties on death row chains. So allegedly, Baby Lane seen the dude, I believe his name is Trayvon something, that was with Death Row, tried to snatch his chain. They said he didn't get it because Bad Boy wanted to have the Death Row chain and put it in a music video. Would have been highly disrespectful. But at the same time, mind you, here's the other underlying things that happened before all of this. Jermaine Dupri's birthday party, 1995, I believe, in Atlanta. One of Puffy's bodyguards, Wolf, kills one of Suge's good friends. What's his name? What was his name? Big Jake or something like that. Gets murdered. This is right before Tupac gets out of jail. Now, before all that, you had the Quad Studio shit. But the fact that Tupac jumped on Orlando Anderson, Baby Lane, because he heard them say, yo, he the dude that tried to snatch the Death Row chain. And this well-known fact that there were $10,000 bounties on these Death Row chains from Bad Boy. Pac didn't say, yo, this is some gangbang shit. No, this is some Death Row shit that I'm involved in. These niggas came got me out of jail when I'm already riding on Puffy and Bad Boy. He took off on them on that note. They just happened to be gang members. It just happened to be Pyrus and Crips. You know, the people that were doing, you know, the dirty work. So it's a Pandora's box. I'm gonna try to get this shit right. If y'all could just bear with me a little bit. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can get this a little. It's cool. Let me stop tripping. But anyway, I'm gonna say if you want other details about this, like I would say, if y'all ever seen the gentleman, he was Puffy's bodyguard. He was there the night Biggie got killed. His name is Big Gene Deal. He's done a lot of interviews, but I would tell y'all go watch The Last Big Night. It's something on YouTube called The Last Big Night with Gene Deal. He did this on his own, I want to say back in 2018, 19, I believe, before he ever was on Vlad. You know, I would even tell people, fuck it, go to Vlad. There's a lot of information on there from people. Art of Dialogue, of course. They've really gotten into this shit. You know, they've talked to the who's and the who's, what's, and when's and where's. I would even say go check out Gully TV because he talked to some folks that had something to do with the Quad Studio shooting. To me, that's where a lot of this stems from, especially the Tupac animosity with Bad Boy, because they were there when it happened. They didn't have nothing to do with it, I believe. From my understanding, it had something to do with Jimmy Henchman, who's this real street motherfucking guy who's in jail right now, serving life for the murder of, what's your name? Lodi Mac or Mac? Damn, what was somebody with 50 Cent? They slapped Jimmy Henchman's son, and Jimmy Henchman came back, split the block, shot up Tony Yayo's house, and ended up killing the nigga Lodi Mac or whoever it was that's affiliated with G-Unit. So this is why when Tupac, you know, that shit happened to Tupac in the Quad Studios, yeah, Big ain't want to get so involved because the nigga Jimmy Henchman is nothing to play with. They say Haitian Jack, whatever. Haitian Jack says he didn't have nothing to do with it. I said go check out Gully TV because Gully TV did an interview with Dexter Isaac, who he said, yeah, I'm the one that robbed Tupac and shot him. He said, I'm taking the responsibility for that. He said, but I got paid from Jimmy Henchman, you know, to do this robbery, and I just ended up having to shoot the nigga because the nigga had a gun. That's on Gully TV. Go check that out because to me, that's where Tupac's animosity comes with Bad Boy because Puffy was there, Biggie was there, all of these things. So you gotta think, Tupac gets shot, all of them niggas is and Bad Boy is in the building. Allegedly, Jimmy Henchman set it up. The dude Dexter Isaac claims it now. I think he's sitting in federal prison. He's written a book. While Tupac's sitting in jail trying to get bailed out, not getting, you know, much help. Fucking the shit happens with Puffy's bodyguard Wolf and Suge Knight's man Big Jake in Atlanta where he gets killed by Puffy's bodyguard. Had a problem with that. So then that becomes the tension between Puffy and Suge. So Tupac already feeling some kind of way about that shit. Now Suge does. Tupac trying to get out of jail. Suge, Interscope, whoever come to get him. Anyway, he ended up on death row. So fuck it, we can say, you know, death row came to get this nigga. So Pac, yeah, he gonna feel like y'all came to get me. I'm riding with y'all. You goddamn right. Who the fuck wouldn't, right? Okay. Now, I would tell you, check out the Big Gene shit, his interviews. The Last Big Night, he goes into close detail. He was Puffy's personal fucking bodyguard, my nigga. He was Puffy's bodyguard. He talks about conversations he had with Puff, conversations he had with Big, things of that nature. Now, from my understanding, they say Suge Knight, the way he like to get back at a lot of people is fucking their girls. So, from my understanding, Suge Knight ended up getting with Puffy's baby mother of Justin, Misa, I believe her name is. I think she is like a designer, but I think, Suge got her and, allegedly hit her. And Gene Deal says he remembers when it happened, and Puffy called her everything but a child of God. So that's how Suge like to get down. So then, he finally gets Pac out of jail. And you hear the story about Faith ended up coming there. They tried to get on a song to do Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. And, saying Pac hit her. He fucked her. I don't know what else to say. Tupac fucked Faith. He claimed that. I mean, she denies it, but you have a lot of other people saying, yo, I remember I was there, Somebody said that he called her and told her, yeah, I fucked that bitch. But like on some Suge shit, like, oh, that's how you do. So first off, fuck your bitch and the clique you claim. Like, I fucked your bitch, you fat mother. Oh shit. And some get back. So to that point, they hit your girl. So okay, he put out Hit 'Em Up. He's making all these disparaging remarks about him on wax in the media. They saying, when Puffy used to go out LA, he used to have Southside Crips as security detail. Because when you go out LA, yes, that gang bang shit is real. Even I'ma say for a civilian, you know what I mean? Just be careful, you know what I mean? So them being high profile like that, they got security detail. And word was, it was well known that Bad Boy had a $10,000 bounty for Death Row chains because they wanted to take one and put it in a music video. You dig? Hey man, like, so this is why I'm saying this Pandora's box, all right? So, the Bad Boy had the bounty for the $10,000 for a Death Row chain. And it's a well-known fact that Orlando Anderson tried to grab it from one of the Death Row members. I think his name is Trayvon something. Might be like Trayvon Lane or something like that. But he didn't get it. Okay. So when they in the MGM Grand, and the dude Trayvon says, "Yo, he the dude that tried to steal my Death Row chain." Pac thinking, "Oh shit. He tried to grab the Death Row chain that Puffy and them had a bounty on that we all know about." So Pac take off on him on that because of a bounty that Puffy allegedly had on the Death Row medallion and chain. Part of the Pandora's box opening. Now, Keefe D also alleges that Puffy said $1 million hit on them niggas. Him and Suge. This takes me back to, if you go watch Big Gene's interviews, and this last big night, I would recommend everybody go watch. You can just search that shit right in the YouTube search. He said, I think it might have been after the Soul Train Awards or one run-in that they had with Tupac and Death Row. He said Puffy came in the house and said to Big Gene, his bodyguard, "Man, I can't do this shit no more. If any kind of gunplay comes into play, these white folks ain't gonna want to give me their money." He said, "I can't have that." Puffy told his bodyguard, "I don't care if Tupac die, I don't care if Big die, and if Suge gotta go to jail. Well, if all three ain't happened." But the bodyguard, Big Gene, was taken back because he was like, "Yo, you saying Big?" And he had somebody that was right there with him that he, could co-sign what he was saying. But damn, Puffy, even Big, you don't give a fuck if Big die. So it's reopening all of these things. It's a Pandora's box of effect. And like I said, so okay, all of those things happen. Pac hears the shit about, yo, he the dude try to get the Death Row medallion. And Pac take off on them, not on no gang bang shit. They just happen to be gang members. They jump on them, they leave out. Now, at this time, from my understanding, Pac is out on bail. Sugar's on probation. I think Pac had some other hearing coming up like a month later that this possibly would have violated him. You know what I mean? For his bail, for his other probation, anything. Like this shit, him just jumping to Orlando might have got him sent back to jail anyway. That's another little tidbit, right? So they go back to the hotel, they get cleaned up. You hear all these stories, you hear everybody's stories. Like I said, go check out all the dialogue and Vlad and all that shit, yo. And you can piece the stories together about they went hunting, after Keefe D and them found out about what happened in Orlando, they go hunting. Pretty much. To me, that's what I call it. They go hunting for Tupac and Suge. They say, we know they're going to be at this club, 662. So they went there, didn't see nothing. I think Reggie Wright Jr., whatever, alleges that they think they saw him, or was it Mob James said that they think they saw him in the parking lot and drive off. And as they drive off and spin the block or go wherever, they just supposedly happen to run across Tupac and Suge. And Keefe D goes into, to me, great detail about how they fucking shot fucking Suge and Tupac up. Now, Keefe D, he was the only last living survivor in that vehicle. So people saying, oh, Keefe D, he killed Tupac. No, he's like an accessory to murder. From my understanding how the law, where he's gonna be an accessory. You were there, you were in the car with the motherfuckers. So he didn't murder him, but he was claiming that Orlando shot him. But back to Yaki Kadafi, he made statements to the Las Vegas Police Department saying it was a big black arm. You can look all this shit up online, all of the statements, they got his whole shit. He was supposed to talk to the fucking Las Vegas Police Department the day, the day after he died. He got murdered. He was supposed to talk to the people the next day. He was murdered by Napoleon of the Outlaws' little cousin in New Jersey, shot in the head. And as I said, this is what alerted me to do this. If you go down in the description, there's a link to an Instagram page that represents Yaki Kadafi, and they are coming out with a book, and they are pretty much saying to them that his murder is somewhat of a setup, a cover-up, a conspiracy also involved with the murder of Tupac. I mean, the timing of it, to me, is very coincidental. And I don't believe in coincidences for shit. I'm one of them people in life, I don't believe nothing happened by mistake. I don't give a damn if it was. I still don't believe it. So let's see. Oh boy. The thing with Keefe D, they said years ago he had a proffer agreement with the feds and Greg Kaden when they were trying to interrogate him about the death of Biggie. And he said, no, I don't know nothing about Biggie, but I can tell you about this Tupac murder if what I'm saying can't be used against me, which is what a proffer agreement is. So they couldn't use it against him. But now, after all these interviews, I don't know if that proffer agreement is permissible in court, because that's federal. If it's just Las Vegas, that's just state. I don't know if they coincide or one honors the other. You know what I mean? Oh boy, let's see. What else? I was just watching this fucking interview with Napoleon. He did on the Art of Dialogue. And he was saying that if Tupac was alive, he wouldn't want Keefe D in jail, because Tupac knew his actions. He knew his repercussions for his actions. And it would almost be like, let's handle this in the street rather than fool with law enforcement. It's one of the latest interviews they just dropped. And when I first just read the headline, I'm like, if Tupac wouldn't want Keefe D to go to jail, I had to go check it out, because sometimes you'll just see a headline and it really doesn't give you the true context of what that person said. And when I first read it, I was like, Tupac wouldn't want Keefe D to go to jail. When I first just read it, I was like, okay, fair enough. I'm thinking, for all intents and purposes, okay, yeah, I don't want him to have justice in court. I want him to have justice in the street. And we know what that means. That means unaliving somebody. You know what I mean? So to speak, rather than them sitting in penitentiary. But to me, this shit just opened up a lot for everybody. So, regardless of if the $1 million hit on Tupac and Suge from Puffy is real, I want to say it's well-known fact that the $10,000 bounty for the death row chains is a fact and known. And that's the reason Tupac jumped on fucking Orlando Anderson. So And if that's the case, Orlando did that because Puffy would have gave him $10,000 for getting it. Oh, he kind of involved, ain't he? I'm sure he's gonna probably lawyer the fuck up if he got to, if he's requested for court or summoned or whatever the word is. But boy, oh boy. To me, Puffy, you got something to do with this, my nigga. To me, Puffy got something to do with it. Whether he like it or not, want to admit it or not, and anything of that nature. And you know, there's a lot of dead people involved in this shit. So, you know, like they were talking about the dude Zip, he from Harlem, was cool with Puffy. He was kind of the go-between between Puffy and Keefe D. Him and Keefe D was cool. And, you know, Keefe D alleges that Zip, you know, kind of came to him like, yo, it's the perfect time to go get that $1 million for this hit. But he's not here, so we don't know. You know, it's all alleged. We can only really go off of what Keefe D saying, because we know Puffy ain't gonna say shit. And I'll be honest, yeah, I wouldn't say a motherfucking thing if I was him either. I wouldn't say shit either. That's just the intelligent thing to do. You know, not say nothing. And have your lawyer on deck just in case. Like, nigga, I'm already retained you. I'm sure you already got retained. This nigga's a billionaire, but just be prepared. So what I'm saying is the Tupac shit, when they say, oh, he got caught up in gangbanging, to me, not really. He seen a motherfucker that they said tried to snatch a death row chain, and he took off on him on that note. They just happened to be gang members. And they responded as gang members do. You know, like, let me see. Like I said, Suge still ain't saying he said I'm not cooperating at all. But he did say Orlando didn't do it. That's the first time he's ever made a statement about who actually shot Pac. Because him and Keefe D, like I said, are childhood friends. They played football and shit together. They grew up in Compton together. One just picked the red, one picked the blue. A lot of it has to deal with the neighborhood, the block you live on, the side of the street, all things of that nature. So to me, this shit is just opened up a tangled web, like, and everybody pointing at everybody else. But man, shit crazy. I just wonder, is there going to be a domino effect, so to speak, when it comes to Biggie? That's to me, this shit got to play out first. Because that did happen in LA, but LA people was involved in this Tupac shit. And to me, they all connected one way or another. You know what I mean? But I'm going to just say again, Puffy, boy, you got something to do with this. If that $10,000 bounty on them death row chains, that shit real, that shit was a well-known fact. You was protected by Southside Crips, and they said, okay, we're going to try to get a death row chain for you so you can put it in a music video. And the dude that tried to do it, Baby Lane, wasn't successful, but was seen by Tupac as soon as they left the Mike Tyson fight, and he took off on him on the strength of the death row chain, not them being Bloods or Crips. Puffy had something to do with it, regardless. Just way before a $1 million actual hit. Because it's all linked. You know, why was Tupac shot? Tupac was shot because he jumped on this nigga, Orlando Anderson, in the MGM Grand because of the death row medallion, chain snatching shit. It was supposed to be sanctioned by Bad Boy. I guess you're supposed to say allegedly all of that, because I guess nothing's been proven in a court of law, but I mean, they say it's a well-known fact. And Gene Deal, Puffy's bodyguard, kind of attests to a lot of these things. He was there. He was Puffy's personal bodyguard. Man. So, like I said, what made me think of this right now is I saw a post from a Instagram page from Yaki Kadafi that was talking about his death that happened 2 months after Tupac's death, that claims it was a cover-up and a setup. And he was the only person that I know of that made any statements about what they saw when Tupac and Suge got shot. He said it was a big black arm. Came out the window and just started letting off. And they said, what did he look like? He said he looked like a bitch. And it was like, all right, but I can't remember all the other details, but I do remember the big black arm shit. And he was supposed to meet up with the Las Vegas police the very next day, but he was killed before that. And Napoleon's cousin ended up killing Kadafi. But they're also claiming on this Instagram page that Napoleon's cousin told Kadafi weeks before he was going to fuck around and kill him. And what alerted me even more was that Tupac's little sister, Setua, liked the post. Let that sink in. So to me, this must be something that they don't talk about. Nobody's really talked about, but they might have had them personal conversations. They might not ever talk about it. Lord knows. We'll see how all this play out. They might start going into greater detail. I don't know. You know, and I've read a lot of things. I ain't got the book anymore. I think I let somebody hold it. Tupac's personal bodyguard at the time, Frank Alexander, who died a couple years ago, he wrote a book called like I Got Your Back or something. And he went into the great detail about that night as well, you know, and all his things is in protecting Tupac within his time there. And man, it's just a lot of fucking dead motherfuckers, and there's only a few that's alive that's left. And the one that you would think wouldn't talk about it, Keefe D, who was an accessory to this shit, was in the car, talked about it the most. Suge ain't said shit. Puffy ain't made a peep ever. Ever. I never even heard Puffy talk about Big's murder. Ever. And like in detail on what happened that night. I've never heard him talk about, you know, none of that. Well, I was in the car and this was the decisions that we made. I've never heard him talk about none of that shit. None of it. You know, you never heard him talk about, you know, after the shit happened, after Big died, that Clarence Avant interjected. You can find this out later. Clarence Avant, y'all ever seen, what's it called, The Black Godfather on Netflix, the documentary about Clarence Avant? With some music industry, I don't know what you want to call that motherfucker, power broker, told Puffy, yo, we gonna have him fly in San Diego, and they put Puffy in the trunk of a car and drove this nigga from LA to San Diego and had him fly out that same night. But you don't hear Puffy talking about that shit. But man, this just was Pandora's box has been opened. And you know, for all intents and purposes, had they solved this murder 27 years ago, Lord knows, Baby Lane might be alive, Big Dre, we don't know. Keefe D might have did jail time, but he could have fucked around, been out by now, because he wasn't the trigger man. He was just an accessory. So after 27 years, he'd have fucked around, been out of jail by now. Just in my opinion, like, ooh. But we shall see what happens. Because this is just getting more and more interesting. I mean, they said Keefe D just made his first appearance in court the other day, said he need 2 weeks with his lawyer, you know, for continuation. And I wonder who they're going to call to testify. And I mean, there's a lot of people that, you know, they could ask to get on the stand, like I said, about the $10,000 fucking bounty on death row chains, because that's part of the reason this shit even happened. That's the reason Tupac jumped on fucking Orlando Anderson, my nigga. It wasn't because he a Crip and fucked them niggas, no. Yo, that's the dude trying to steal the death row chain. And we know that Puffy and them trying to steal the death row chain, so Puffy sent these niggas, I'm jumping on them. And you know, they leave, they get shot up, they in the, what do you call it, caravan, the outlaws right behind them. Kadafi makes a statement with the Las Vegas Police Department and is killed 2 months later by Napoleon's cousin. And whoever on this Instagram is alleging that it was not a mistake of Yaki Kadafi's death, when he's supposed to make more statements to the Las Vegas police. But figured I'd jump on here. I'm starting to do this a little bit more, this live shit. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And man, I'll talk to y'all soon. I was gonna say something about the sexy red shit, but I might do that in a minute if I jump back on here. But that ain't had shit to do with this. But yeah, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And until next time, dog. Peace.